Hi, this is Jana Green Side Up. We're going to do a video inside today because, well, it's raining. So if you hear little drip drops on this video, that's what it's from. Today's topic is pots. That's pots with an S, not pot like the stuff that you smoke, because I don't know anything about that. So we're going to be talking about pots today. And the first pots we're going to be talking about are ones that have drainage. If you came to my store and said I wanted to put something into a pot, the first thing I would say is make sure it has a hole in the bottom for the water to run out. Especially on a day like this when it's raining a lot, you don't want your pots with no holes sitting outside. Your plants are literally going to drown. I brought some different pots here for you to look at. As you see, this one has a hole in the bottom, as does this one. This is a different pot. This one, if you look at it, has no hole, but it has a thing in the bottom that can come out, and you can make it one with a hole, with drainage. This pot has no hole in the bottom, and this is what one of my co-workers has coined a death pot. Again, we're talking about water going in. If there's no place for that water to go out, it will literally drown your plants. This is not good. So you might ask, why do we sell pots that don't have drainage? Say that you have an office and you want to have a cute little plant on your desk, but you've got this lovely wooden desk and you certainly don't want that plant leaking all over your pretty desk. You can use a pot like this, put the little plant into it. When it comes time to water the plant, you take the plant out, water it, let it drip, put it back into the pot. Your desk will stay pristine. So there are reasons why you would use a pot like this. Don't use them outside, however, and be very careful what kind of plants you put into them. You can plant in them, some people do successfully. They will put something like rocks at the bottom, and that gives a little layer on top for your water to drain down into. Again, still, if you're going to put it outside, make sure it has a hole. While we are talking about pots, we're going to also talk just a little bit about potting soil. This particular one is an organic potting mix, potting soil. Always use a quality potting soil versus like a topsoil or some other type of compost or something in your pots. Your potting soil is looser. It lets those little roots just kind of grow where they're supposed to. Some of your other soils get very compacted in a pot and your plants will not do as well. Always remember, pots, potting soil. You might wonder what size pot to use for a certain plant. I have this croton. It is in a 6-inch pot. I would place this comfortably into a pot that is about 8 3/4 inches. As you see, show you here. There's a little bit room to spare. You probably can't see that. There's a little bit room to spare. Not too much. You don't want to put a small plant into a huge pot thinking it's going to grow into that pot. What happens is it's just very, very hard to maintain your water level right, and a lot of times it ends up rotting out because there's just too much water for it in that big pot. Generally, you will put a plant into a pot that is about 1 to 2 inches larger than what the pot is that it's coming out of. That works well. Say that you have a large pot, but you have several, and I only have 2 here right now, but say that you have several small plants. You could put several small plants into a pot that's maybe a little bit bigger than what just one would use. But you've got several little root systems in there, and so they will be using up the water, and it would work in a bigger pot. Here in North Carolina, in Fayetteville, you can do perennials in pots. I rent a house. I do a lot of my perennials in pots. Now, when I was up in Minnesota, the perennials had to be planted in the ground or they would not make it through the winter. But down here, the winters are warm enough that I can do my perennials in a pot and they will come back every year. Always know where you're living, what zone you are in, what growing zone you are in, to know if something like this will work for you or not. So in a pot, you can do annuals, you can do perennials outside. You can do, of course, annuals, houseplants inside. But whatever you are doing, always make sure that you have what? Holes in your pot. It's very important. So in this video, we have covered the kind of pots, holes or no holes. We've covered potting soil, we've covered size. If you have other questions about pots, about plants, about anything pertaining to growing things, give us a call here or come in and see us at Green Side Up. We'd love to be able to help you with your questions. This is Jane at Green Side Up on a rainy day saying goodbye.